All right. Hello everyone and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Happy and Lynn, taking place here on Hammerfall. Happy has spawned as the blue undead on the top left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Lynn has spawned as the yellow orc over here on the bottom right. Promises to be a good game. Looks like it's going to be pretty standard openings from the players so far. Altar of Storms, Orc Burrow, meanwhile Altar of Darkness, Crypt, and a Ziggurat. The fact that the Acolyte can pull back and well, not have to stay summoning a building, always good for resources. Even though they do start off, down resources, 3 acolytes instead of 5 workers, they do have that early ghoul to gather in some early lumber. So a little bit of racial identity here as the game gets underway. Now, however you may be watching, however you may be listening, I'm glad you're here. Let me know what you guys think about, these two players in the comments below, their strategies, and what you think will unfold as the game does move on. Remember, no spoilers, just make some early predictions and see if you're right. And don't go editing your comment at the end of the video. Blade Master going up against a Death Knight, no big surprises there, pretty standard. Still don't see a barracks yet. So the question for Lin is he going for a very fast tech to tier 2, which would be strange for a Blade Master first. Farseer first, normally the fast tech to tier 2, as you get the Farseer and those wolves to do a little bit of harassment, and yeah, generally that works out better. But instead, Lin looking to perhaps sell that Scroll of Town Portal, pick up some healing salves, and harass with the Blade Master. No grunts, which then means, well, with no grunts, he's going to be just trying to stop that Death Knight instead. Blade Master already out and about here. There's that tech to tier 2, sold the Scroll of Town Portal, picked up a healing salve and a clarity potion, and is already on the move. Did not bother even with a scroll of speed. Meanwhile, Death Knight now wandering out around here. Where exactly is the Blade Master going? The Blade Master perhaps thinking, hey, Happy maybe trying to do that blight creep off over here at the gold mine, and instead Happy, with that little bit of scouting information on that early acolyte, knows that the Blade Master is already trying to run about. With that, Happy says, you know what, let me go ahead and try to go after this giant sea turtle creep camp. Does get the death coil kill, and the Blade Master has had to use 2 windwalks in order to, well, stay hidden and move across the map effectively. There is now a little bit of damage onto that low hit point ghoul. Ghoul down to 76 hit points. There's a death coil for the save. Blade Master still wandering around here. Is the ghoul going to end up getting taken down? More ghouls coming in to join in on the fight, as the Blade Master does have a circuit of nobility. Alright, so this one ghoul, very low on hit points, does end up getting taken down. So Windwalk strike, that bonus 40 damage, able to get the job done. And the Blade Master may try to rinse and repeat that strategy again. Perhaps try to go after some additional units. Blade Master, well, getting that little bit of early experience there. We're going to see a death coil kill. No, we do not. It's going to be mainly onto that giant sea turtle. Who can get the last hit? That is that question. Death Knight gets the last hit. Blade Master gets the claws of attack +5, though. Is he going to be able to break free here? Is he going to try and go after that ghoul? No, he... Ooh... I believe it would be rather dangerous if he tried to go after that ghoul. But that ghoul is trying to head back home and is separated from the rest of the units. Blade Master ends up getting the critical or the windwalk strike, finishes it off. He took down 2 ghouls, which against Happy is a tremendous victory early on, as now the Death Knight says, you know what, maybe I can clear out this Forest Troll Warlord creep camp by myself, knowing that, well, that one Blade Master has taken quite a bit of damage and doesn't have that much mana. As the Blade Master chases back over here, no clarity potion. Blade Master +7 on attack. Are we going to see an attack onto that Blade Master? No, we don't. He's already fully regenerated anyways. No real hit points lost. Now, the tech to tier 2 is already done. Now teching to tier 3. Shadow Hunter getting trained up and going for dual bestiaries. Alright, it almost feels like Orc is taking a play out of the Undead playbook. fast teching to tier 2 and then immediate tech to tier 3 after training up a hero and getting 2 of those big buildings. Blade Master still sitting at 80 over 200 experience. Didn't get the last kill there. Needs to try and break free. Currently surrounded and now still surrounded. Forced to use a wind walk in order to get away. That skeletal minion's days may be numbered. Is he going to try and attack? Yes, he does get the last shot there. Now up to 92 experience and now wind walking back. As the Death Knight gets to tier 2, Halls of the Dead is up. We should be looking at a Lich. We should be trying to get up at Slaughterhouse. Tech to tier 3 already started. Graveyard wasn't done yet, so hence why it's okay to try and tech to tier 3 first, since you can't start that Slaughterhouse yet. Now, we are going into Wind Riders, and I've said it before. I don't know about Wind Riders in this Orc versus Undead matchup. It just doesn't seem to work. There's a very small window of opportunity to use them, and then once they are no longer useful, it's not like you really want to be killing those Wind Riders, as they were such a heavy investment to begin with. Crypt Fiends with web, Gargoyles with their melee attack, Unholy Aura boosting those gargoyle speeds, all causing problems. Meanwhile, Shadowhunter going after this little Sasquatch here, Wind Rider, and going to get in some attacks. Shadowhunter trying to get in some damage, perhaps finish off this Sasquatch here, and we're going to see some damage go down onto the Acolyte. What is going on here? If the Acolyte gets the final hit, that would absolutely be hilarious. No, the Sasquatch is going to finally get taken out. There's that Clarity Potion and the Healing Salve for that Shadowhunter. Blade Master and Shadowhunter have a bit of work to do, though, as they are coming from behind in terms of experience. Lich on the board with some experience as well. Death Knight picking up, Claws of, I think that was the Scroll of the Beast. Claws of Attack handed over to the Lich. Faster attack speed. Better base damage on that Lich right there, and Claws of Attack and generally damage bonus, static damage bonus better for the range units, going from 22 base damage to 27 overall, better than going from 30 to 35. Now, as the Blade Master, Shadowhunter go after this Sasquatch and the remainder of the creep camps here, perhaps the Wind Riders are only going to be used here to try and take down creeps. If the Wind Riders are here for effective creeping, and we don't see any more Wind Riders being trained, that may be enough to catch up in terms of that hero level. Shadowhunter is sitting at 2. You can see the Death Knight is fighting alongside the Lich. There are gargoyles nearby as well. Are we going to see some creeping off to the north here? No, we do not. There's not very many creep camps available, and I don't know if Lyn should really be trying to... Oh, well, there are a handful of ghouls here. Are those ghouls going to end up getting poked down? Gargoyles trying to engage. There's a Death Coil, so gargoyles in position. Frost Nova dealing the damage, and here we go. That damage from those gargoyles, 61 to 70, as the Scroll of Speed now used in order to get away quickly. Healing Wave, Lich trying to catch up again. Scroll of Speed, very fast movement speed, but the Death Knight and those gargoyles and all those other units looking to engage again. Are we going to see a little bit of damage go back and forth? One gargoyle trying to engage another gargoyle. Could you take it out? No. Death Coil for the save. Both sides continuing to fight. That little seagull of a gargoyle as the Blade Master now trying to fight again. Blade Master does not have an Orb of Lightning, cannot attack up. Goblin Alchemist, third and final hero from Happy. Perhaps going to use, Acid Bomb, make those fragile Wind Riders even more fragile, as they'll end up taking bonus damage since they only have a base 0 armor. Alright. Now, a good way of thinking about armor is effectively each point of armor gives an additional base 6% effective hit points. If you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, you guys know what I mean by that. If you guys haven't and want to prove me wrong, I suggest you watch my WarCraft 3 armor explanation first, and then let me know what you guys think about that. Alright, coming back around. Well, Gargoyle moving very, very slowly, just turned into I guess, is that a seagull or an albatross? You know, not quite sure. Blade Master does have a ring of superiority and a circlet of nobility. No way to combine those into a ring of the Arch Magi, unfortunately. Effectively the same thing, but takes up 2 item slots, so you know that the Blade Master may get rid of one of these 2 items later on for an Invul Potion or perhaps an Orb of Lightning, some way to do a little bit more damage. Tauren Chieftain is out on the battlefield and did opt to go for Endurance Aura first. Now, we're well past the 10-minute mark in this game, and what's interesting about this game so far is we still haven't seen a real battle between these 2 armies. Happy, however, is doing a great job controlling the hero level match or hero level pacing of this game, and if this Death Knight on the cusp of level 4, Lich, a Goblin Alchemist also on the cusp of level 2, and Lich, if it gets to level 3, I don't know how Lyn will be able to really come back from this. There's just so much strength that Happy will already have. And we're looking at, Troll Bat Riders and a pure air game from Orc. I still haven't seen an effective air game strategy from Orc players yet. Still behind in terms of hero levels. Shadow Hunter, need to take this time to try and clear out very, very difficult creep camps, get higher level on all of these heroes, and then perhaps they won't be as squishy against the hero nuking abilities of the undead. Kotobi's trying to regroup and re-engage here. You can see only the Gargantuan Sea Turtle was taken out. The rest of the creep camp is still available. Blade Master still sitting at 2.5 here. Goblin Alchemist with Chemical Rage trying to keep up and doing a great job as we're looking at a little bit of damage going down onto that Kotobi's. Tauren Chieftain does not have Stomp or Shockwave or anything of that nature yet. Meanwhile, Blade Master is currently revealed by that shade. Blade Master perhaps going to try and hide just temporarily. All right, going to go ahead and aggro the creeps, bring them around the corner, and by bringing them around the corner, perhaps going to be able to take down the Ogre Warrior, divide and conquer, get to level 3 on that Blade Master, and perhaps go after the remainder of these units. Tauren Chieftain, Shadow Hunter is going to be nearby. Is the Shadow Hunter going to get enough experience? It should. Or it's going to be very close. Yeah, no. 2 experience shy. Tauren Chieftain taking a little bit too much, or perhaps the Blade Master not needing to take any, taking too much right there. Now, the remainder of the creep camp of this Enraged Elemental going to get taken out. Goblin Alchemist, Death Knight now making its way over here, clearing out another creep camp as well. The Enforcer 531 creep camp. That is the highest green creep camp I believe you can creep out. 531. Tauren Chieftain gets to level 2, and we'll see if he goes for Stomp or Shockwave. Alright, so it is going to be Stomp. Kotobi's currently, just providing a 20% damage bonus. Nothing to see here. We're looking at essentially 2-1 upgrades on the Wind Riders and this Orc army. 49 supply compared to 59 as we are aggroing the creeps and pulling them back. Blade Master is going to spot this Necropolis and this expansion attempt. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, Lich, and Alchemist ready to, try and get into a little engagement there. All right, there goes, the Kobold Taskmaster. Tauren Chieftain now in trouble, though. He was surrounded, doesn't have the Anka reincarnation. There's a Stomp trying to get out of there. Lyn should know better than to try and break free from that position. He should have just been attacking as the Death Knight now uses a Staff of Teleportation to try and stop this Blade Master. Blade Master, however, able to get the job done, delaying that haunted gold mine, and not having to worry about being behind economically just quite yet. Tauren Chieftain resurrected at the tavern. Level 2 still takes quite a bit of time to resurrect at that Altar of Storms. Tauren Chieftain also getting a Clarity Potion and a Healing Salve. So factor all of those into your cost when you consider trying to resurrect at the tavern. It already costs a little bit more, right? Add in another 83 gold on top of that to get this Tauren Chieftain back into well, a fighting stance and a fighting position. Wow. Peons of Lynn making their way south to Hammerfall, maybe setting up an expansion. 62 supply compared to 68. Both sides are setting up these expos here. Haunted gold mine nearly done. We do have the possibility of a tiny Great Hall. No. Like, why would... All right, we are at Fortress. I would have thought a tiny Great Hall would have been placed down. Blade, the Shade is actually purposely in this position, stopping a Town Hall from being placed down right there. We can see an Orb of Lightning has been picked up by the Blade Master, so that Blade Master, well, very scary, has plus 30 damage between all of the plus agility, the claws, and now going to go straight after that Obsidian Statue. Obsidian Statue nearly taken down. There's a Wand of the Wind as both sides are going to fight up now. All right, here we are going to go ahead and engage. There's the Troll Bat Riders trying to dive in onto all of those gargoyles. Stomp coming across from the Tauren Chieftain, both sides fighting, and we're going to look at some low hit point Raiders trying to survive here. Scroll of Healing used there. Gargoyles exchanging against Wind Riders. Both sides fighting. 61 supply compared to 50. Another big stomp, but the Tauren Chieftain is only sitting at level 2. Only level 2. That stomp doesn't last forever, so it is not going to be nearly, doesn't nearly last as long, so it's not going to be nearly as effective. Now that the Tauren Chieftain is level 3, perhaps it can be enough, but he's already used 3 or 4 stomps to be 3 stomps to start this fight, so that's already opportunities lost and damage dealt by those ghouls. All right, another ghoul getting taken down. Blade Master, well, going after some other units. Lich, is he going to be able to get... Oh, I thought the Kodo Beast, there goes an Obsidian Statue. Both sides are fighting. This Kodo Beast trying to get away, down to 74 hit points. Looks like he will be able to do exactly that. Low hit point Raider trying to back away. Shadow Hunter backing away. Both sides still fighting. Gift Wrapped Ghoul is going to get bursted down here as there are Berserkers out here on the battlefield. All right, this low hit point Kodo Beast... Wow, what is this? Low hit point Kodo Beast able to escape. Low hit point Raider, I thought, was also somewhere. No? No, there's that Kodo Beast. Another ghoul getting digested. There's a Kodo Beast right there. I thought we had a low hit point Raider. Perhaps it was denied or healed. So 42 supply compared to 49, and well, a little bit of regeneration for this Kodo Beast, a little bit of long distance mining from all of these peons here. So not quite sure what the gold rate for Lynn currently is, as we're still looking at 44 supply compared to 49. Now, Happy obviously mining a little bit more gold per second since he has a haunted gold mine. He might try to stay in no upkeep for a little bit longer, try to queue up a lot more units all at the same time, bursting back into low upkeep. A tiny Great Hall being established here now at the 3 o'clock spot. So Lynn moving from one spot to the other. These peons, well, what are they doing? They need to just stay close and then return to this Great Hall and then make sure that they go to this gold mine instead. Voodoo Lounge, quarter of the way done, and well, with that expansion now up, Happy knows that he does not have the economic advantage any longer. Now, 1-1 upgrades compared to 1-0 for Happy. Kodo Beasts do have that Wardrome upgrade and the 20% bonus, not just the 10. Important things to note: Blade Master up to plus 25 damage right now. Orb of Lightning lost one of the claws of attack plus 5 in exchange for an Invo potion. Smart call there, I would say. And well, then Ring of Superiority over a claws of attack plus 5. That's a little bit more difficult to figure out what is actually better. All right. All quiet on the front, on the Hammerfall front, apparently. Both sides waiting to see what the other is going to do. And taking a look at the overall experience, right? We haven't really seen straight up engagements between these two armies yet. They were both sitting at one base for a long time, hence the low-level heroes. Even though we're at the 20-minute mark of the game, there haven't been that many units out there on the battlefield. Now, Death Knight does have a slight hero level advantage, nearing level 5 actually. going up against a 3-3-3 for Lin, who was able to recover quite a bit of that lost ground in terms of that hero level experience. Now, Haunting of the Gold Mine off to the north, as the main gold mines only have about a minute and a half of mining left or less. Lin may be forced to try and set up an expo here as well, and both sides trying to make sure that they don't, well, walk into their opponent's trap. That is the main key, as Goblin Zeppelin does keep track, does spot the haunted gold mine there. 7,000 gold here, 9,000 gold here, 8,700 gold here, 10,000. All right. Now, with Banshees out there on the battlefield, we should be looking at anti-magic shell, which will help protect against all of the stomp damage that the Tauren Chieftain is hoping to do. However, there isn't that many other ghouls onto the ground here. Happy also now breaking up into the 76 supply count. We are looking at more Banshees getting trained. Dual Temple of the Damned here. Slaughterhouse is done. Meanwhile, we are looking at dual crypts. And what is this army? We see mass ghouls, Banshees, and lots of them. Look at all of these Banshees here. 4 obsidian statues to try to keep these Banshees topped out on mana. Tauren Chieftain ready to lead the charge here. We're going to see a stomp. We are. A stun still happened even though damage is not done. Banshees are across here. Kodo Beast, Wind Riders trying to focus down units. The Wind Riders are actually having a pretty good field day against all of these units as well. We're looking at a little bit of damage getting stacked up here. Kodo Beast going to get, well, blasted down. Kodo Beast now trying to eat up another unit. Healing Wave bouncing around. And Hungry Kodo, well, playing a game of Goblin Zeppelin. Jump into the belly only to say, you know what, let's go ahead and digest some units. 71 supply compared to 74. Mass Berserkers. This is an odd spot. All right, we're going to take a look at a couple of Acolytes trying to make their way over. Tauren Chieftain does have enough mana for another stomp with a potion of mana behind it to perhaps delay that initial round of attack from all of those melee ghouls. There is a shade down across here, so that is going to provide a little bit of sight. There's a little bit of damage. Tauren Chieftain trying to make its way over. There's a stomp. There's some damage. Wind Rider's Healing Wave bouncing around. Tauren Chieftain could have a very, very bad day. He's going to go ahead and try and stomp, and he does get taken down, though. No Ankh of Reincarnation there. Not quite sure where it went. Shadowhunter gets up to level 4. Perhaps some stronger Healing Wave here as the Blade Master uses an Invul Potion trying to finish off some of those other units. Meanwhile, Focus Fire from the Berserkers able to get in quite a bit of damage. There's a Death Coil Frost Nova onto the Blade Master. Blade Master, however, still alive and well temporarily as the Blade Master could get taken down. Blade Master gets Goblin Zeppelin out of the fight. 65 supply compared to 52. Low hit point Kodo Beast, Scroll of Speed, Tactical Retreat. Kodo Beast trying to dine and dash, able to digest the evidence of his, well, dine and dash endeavors. All right. Berserker, medium armor, well, with -2 right now, taking a little bit of bonus damage. Healing Wave bouncing around. Are we going to see a fight get underway here? Kodo Beast trying to come back around. You can see the Berserker getting elevated. Blade Master is still inside the Goblin Zeppelin. He needs to get healed. And quickly, there's a Spirit Link. There's a Healing Wave, excuse me, as they're going to go ahead and try and engage now. More Spirit Links spreading across all of that damage. Again, Blade Master may not want to actually reveal himself, does reveal himself, but does have a potion of invulnerability to try and, well, shake off any of that damage right there. There's a little bit of a Healing Wave again. Ghoul's going to try and engage, going straight after some of those units. Are we going to see a Banshee get taken down? Yes, we are. Both sides still fighting. Shadowhunter, potion of invulnerability. Oh, no, Blade Master, potion of invulnerability. Are we going to see a burst damage there? No, we do not, as we see another Healing Wave coming back across. Shadowhunter constantly low on mana, trying to keep that Blade Master alive and well. Goblin Zeppelin getting taken out. Kodo Beasts don't have anything in their belly as they're trying to retreat back again. What is going to go down here? As, well, we see the Blade Master with Lightning Orb trying to purge down, stop some of those units in their tracks again. Berserkers making their way over. Ghoul trying to go ahead and engage. Tauren Chieftain is still not out here on the battlefield yet. Needs to get resurrected as we see the Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist well, getting purged down. He's trying to retreat back. He's able to shake off that damage. Finishes off a Wind Rider with a little concoction of his own, throwing it into the air as the Lich now gets up to level 4. Both sides still fighting. 5-4 going up against a 5-4-4. Still no Tauren Chieftain as we see an ensnare going on the Blade or Alchemist. Alchemist, Potion of Invulnerability. There's some more attacks. Acid Bomb going back the other way. Berserkers could get taken down. A little bit of damage over time, trying to finish off some of those units. Galvan Alchemist is in trouble. Does have another Invul Potion. Is he going to try and use it as he's trying to get away? The Berserker could actually engage. Is he going to be able to finish off one more attack? One more attack. No. Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist able to survive at 38 hit points. However, that Destroyer not as lucky. Tauren Chieftain now back out here onto the battlefield. More ghouls going to get taken down. Lich could be in trouble. Lich getting body blocked again. Does have an Invul Potion. Tauren Chieftain trying to catch up to the Lich. Lich does have Unholy Aura right now as the well, we see an ensnare try to go down under the Destroyer, but beautifully timed transformation. And we now see, well, the Spirit Walker in ethereal form and ends up getting taken out easily. All right. Trying to go after some of this additional gold that Happy is able to collect right now. I'm taking down some of these units. The Berserker has to be careful. 49 supply compared to 48. Damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation. You need to stop this this gold mine. There's a stomp right there. Healing wave bouncing around. Kodo Beast want to chomp down onto some units and are able to do that again. Another Berserker gets taken down though. All right, Goblin Alchemist, Anti-Magic Shell, still able to stay alive. We're still seeing a little bit of damage going back and forth. There goes an ensnare. Goblin Alchemist uses the Potion of Invulnerability. Are we going to see a stomp? Yes, we do. Trying to go after perhaps some of these other units. The Ghoul, well, it's staying away for quite some time. Tauren Chieftain going up against the Alchemist. Alchemist with such high strength and Ring of Regeneration, able to shake off so much damage. Add in Unholy Aura, and well, that Alchemist's regeneration rate is rather high. And also add in the Obsidian Statue, so healing plus regen on a large hit point capacity has that Alchemist already back up to 300 hit points and counting. Lyn forced to fall back here. Blade Master still waiting to get resurrected, about to make its presence known out here on the battlefield. There goes another ensnare. This expansion gold mine still has plenty of mining to go. Meanwhile, the north one is now getting resaturated again. It is 20 gold a second versus 10. Very big difference. Death Coil Frost Nova as the Shadow Hunter healing waves. Blade Master comes back around. He is alive, and he quickly bursts down that Alchemist. All right, Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight should not get focused down in this situation. It should be the Lich. The Lich is getting ensnared and is now in a little bit of trouble. Death Coil should be inbound. There's a stun. Oh my goodness. Lich now suddenly falls apart. Death Knight going to try and Death Coil, try to save, but not going to work out well. Raider may get taken down, but the Banshee, no, able to escape away just in time. All right. 2 heroes lost for Happy. Lich knocked out. Alchemist also knocked out. Is he going to resurrect at the tavern? He has the gold, but that's not how, I'm sure that's not how he wanted to spend that 1,000 gold, resurrecting 2 heroes at the tavern. Meanwhile, though, Tauren Chieftain making its way off to the north here to try and clear up this expansion. The Raiders are trying to take it down. Meanwhile, this expansion of Lyn is completely exposed. This could be very bad news. Berserker is going to try and finish off that low hit point Banshee. No, going after the Lich instead. This is not a good spot to be in. No Scroll of Town Portal, just being forced to retreat and run all the way back home. A little bit of body blocking for that Death Knight. Death Knight now Scroll of Town Portal to retreat back. Lyn has lost all of the ghouls here. Are we going to see well, Berserker ends up surviving. More peons perhaps going to get transferred to this gold mine. Some peons just going to work. Not live. I never get to cast things live. You know that, PJ. All right, getting back into this game here. Lyn, 41 over 82 supply, getting resaturated on the East Gold Mine. Meanwhile, Happy only has about 3.5 minutes mining left at the West Gold Mine. The Northern Gold Mine was taken out by the Raiders and the Blade Master. So, Lyn now needs to see what Happy is going to try and counter with. Happy no longer has the hero level advantage, oddly enough. Blade Master and Shadow Hunter have both reached level 5. Meanwhile, Lich is still sitting at level 4. Undead does have 2-2 upgrades going up against 1-1 upgrades still, but those Kodo Beasts do represent a 20% damage bonus, essentially giving the Orc army 3-1 upgrades if we're trying to get technical about it. Now, Happy getting a little bit more lumber here as well. Perhaps gonna try and bank as much gold as possible. What's cracking? Good to see you back streaming. Yep, good to be streaming again. Good to be streaming again. Yeah, the Twitch support does definitely help. I know a lot of the YouTube guys out there also have a free sub through Amazon Prime, and then they remember to stream, they remember to resub on Twitch, which is definitely supports the channel, keeps the lights on. You know, able to upgrade my computer, pay for an internet, or pay for upgraded internet that actually has me uploading videos quickly. Could you believe it used to take me like an hour to upload? Like yesterday's video would have taken me about an hour to upload. It was 11 gigabytes. Today I think it took, or yesterday I think it took me like 2 minutes. It was that much faster, right? 2 gigabit upload speed versus 50 megabit. Yeah, absolutely crazy. So yeah. Anyways, Lin, 50 over 82 supply, still mining gold, has about 4.5 minutes mining. Only viewer ticker left to implement. Yep, yeah. Well, I can see how many viewers I have. I don't know if I need to record it for YouTube how many viewers I have. But then again, those times when Back to Warcraft or other people in the Warcraft 3 community decide to raid my channel, getting up to like 1,000 views, that's quite nice, right? When you, yeah, when Back to Warcraft or some big channel raids you and suddenly you get like triple the number of ad views on your channel in one day than you do in a month. No, all of that does add up and it does help. Thank you. Even though for some reason my I don't get notified when I get raided. Not quite sure why. Maybe I should implement my 3rd and 4th monitors. I do have a decent graphics card now where I'm not going to overload everything. Final fight incoming, I think, by the way. All right. Well, a little bit of down talk between the two. Let's go 32 minutes into this game. Both sides going to engage. It seems like Happy is waiting for every bit of gold. Yes, might actually visit a shop, no laboratory, pick up all of those necessary items. Here we are. Meanwhile, Lin is hoping to get another 3 minutes of mining going. And, well, Lin is fighting next to this Voodoo Lounge, so this could be good. All right, in comes some Devour Magic Berserkers. There are Taurens out here onto the battlefield, but they do not, the Spirit Walkers do not have the Mastery training, so we will not be resurrecting those Taurens. Both sides going to go ahead and fight. There's a, well, ensnare onto the Lich. Lich could be in trouble. Stomp going down, and, well, Lich could be in, wow, Lich getting taken down as there was a Hex onto the Death Knight. And wow, how quickly the first domino fell. Quick stun by the Tauren Chieftain at level 4, stunning the Lich, and then a very quick Hex, or not a very quick, a well-timed Hex right as the stun came to an end. A Hex onto the Death Knight to prevent the Death Coil heal onto the Lich. By doing so, they were able to burst down that Lich fast enough, and without the Lich's Frost Nova, it was pretty much an uphill battle for Happy, and Happy knew it, especially with Lin fighting next to a Voodoo Lounge while still gaining more gold. Happy throwing in the towel after and falling right at the end right there. You can see how sometimes in a real-time strategy game like this, all it takes is a matter of seconds for 30 minutes of planning and tactics to just go out the window. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. and I realized I did not record. I did not record. All right, so this will be stream only. Dang it, that was a good game. All right, I feel really silly. Friendly recording reminder, right? Metaphysics. That was a good game. All right. Yep. Let me see what I can do. Maybe I can pull it down from Twitch. I don't know. I'll try. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.